Now, reporting from Lexington, Buena Vista, and Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Rockbridge Report. I'm Susan Haysom. The jury in a wrongful death lawsuit against Virginia Tech awarded $4 million yesterday to each of two families who lost their children in the campus shooting in 2007. The parents of the students who were killed in the shooting argued that Virginia Tech officials did not respond properly to the crisis, waiting 2.5 hours before warning students campus-wide about the gunman. The $4 million award is much higher than the $100,000 maximum imposed by the state. Such large award requires approval by the Virginia General Assembly. Without approval, the award must be reduced. The Associated Press reports that the state is likely to appeal the jury's decision. Last year, 100 Lexington residents were diagnosed with Lyme disease. The disease is caused by a bacteria carried by deer ticks. Rockbridge Report's Emily Mosh has the story.
A menacing and life-altering disease can be carried by something smaller than your pinky fingernail.
There are days when I'll look out at our pastures and it'll just scare me.
Linda Swenson suffers from chronic Lyme disease. She was bitten by a tick in 1997. Symptoms appeared a few years later. She was not diagnosed until 2009.
My arms began to hurt so much, and I developed a chronic fatigue that doing just these simple chores was just about impossible.
When Linda was bitten, she was nursing her youngest son. He became infected with Lyme as well. Her oldest son was bitten and infected a few years later. Her husband has also contracted Lyme.
These are some of the prescriptions that we are taking.
Linda is a co-founder of the Lexington chapter of National Capital Lyme, a support group for people living with Lyme disease. The group was founded by Ellen Dowdy, who had Lyme disease for 15 years before being correctly diagnosed.
Not able to walk, not able to talk, the light sensitivity, I couldn't watch television, sound sensitivity, didn't listen to Christmas carols for 2 years in a row.
The group has 70 members on their contact list.
I lost 15 years of my life. You start to think that it is all in your head. In a support group, we all come together and we all understand.
You feel better, and then something comes along that kind of knocks you back, and then you get back up again and keep going forward.
I am hoping and praying that within the next 10 years, we'll find some advancements in treatment.
Members of the support group are hopeful that soon doctors will recognize Lyme disease more quickly. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Emily Mosh.
If it is caught early enough, Lyme disease can be cured and chronic issues will be unlikely. The Lexington Lyme Support Groups meets one Saturday a month. Councilwoman Mary Harvey Houseth stopped by the Rockbridge Report studios to talk about economic development, downtown Lexington, and the city budget. Despite a recent revenue boost from some state departments, she expects education and nonprofit funding to experience significant cuts in the city's next fiscal year.
Our budget right now is very tight, and don't expect it to get any better anytime soon.
Stay tuned after the show to watch the Councilwoman's full interview with Rockbridge reporter Alex Maragos. The Nature Conservancy and the Forest Service are conducting one of the largest controlled fires on the East Coast in Bath County today. The agencies planned the 5,700-acre fire at Warm Springs Mountain. The burn is aimed at helping the forest's resiliency and fight invasive species, specifically focusing on helping pine and oak trees. The groups say they are reintroducing fire to help the forest and animals thrive. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, see what had nearly 2,000 beer geeks flocking to Devil's Backbone Brewery in newest outpost. And spring is right around the corner. Learn how one park is springing forward into the season with the help of some volunteers.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. First pitch is out between
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
"7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks, more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
This week, in the race for the Republican presidential nominee, Rick Santorum won in Alabama and Mississippi, narrowing Mitt Romney's lead. Romney took the wins in American Samoa and the Hawaiian Caucasus. As of now, Romney is holding on to his lead with 495 delegates, and Santorum is behind him with 252. According to the Associated Press, Newt Gingrich and Ron Paul have stated that they will stay in the race until the end, which will most likely be at the Republican National Convention in Tampa this summer. The next primaries are in Puerto Rico on Sunday and Illinois on Tuesday. The Rockbridge County School Board is considering a proposal to add a public charter school to the district by August 2013. Organizers of the proposal want to establish the Buffalo Creek School in Old Effinger Elementary Building, but in a time when school budgets are tight, the idea of helping fund a charter school has some members of the county concerned. Organizers of the proposed school say they don't want to drain resources from other schools in the district, and say they would fundraise and solicit donations to support the charter. But under the current proposal, the school would have to use some district funds.
My concern on the budget side is that the county cannot send resources to another school. It doesn't have the excess to send.
The charter organizers received a grant from federal government to help with initial startup costs. The state has already approved the plan. Organizers now need the go-ahead from the school board. There are currently 4 charter schools in Virginia, but none of them are located in a rural area like Rockbridge County. On Monday, partners of the Thompsons Knoll project and locals gathered for the groundbreaking at North Lewis Street in Lexington. Partners included Rockbridge Area Habitat for Humanity, Lexington's Threshold Commission, and Thompsons Knoll Developers Incorporated. The Thompsons Knoll project is a plan to build 24 affordable, energy-efficient homes on about 4.5 acres of land. Rockbridge reporter Becky Mickle has more.
A historic piece of land will now provide affordable housing for everyday people who work in Lexington. The Thompson family gathered with local leaders on Monday to break ground at Thompsons Knoll on North Lewis Street.
I'm extremely proud of what my grandfather did, thinking in terms of he was a black man, and during that time that he had just that the mindset and the skills to acquire all of this property.
Thompsons Knoll was originally owned by John Thompson, a Lexington native who worked as a Washington and Lee custodian. Thompson used his money from summer odd jobs to acquire properties all over Lexington that had been available from delinquent taxes.
I think he would have been extremely proud that there will be an ongoing legacy of his business acumen.
Today, Thompson's land will help people who work in Lexington afford homes within the city.
I've gotten an overwhelming feeling that we all have the end result in mind, which is, shiny, happy people holding hands in this really cool community that's everybody's happy and proud of for many years to come.
The 24 new homes near downtown Lexington will be green, affordable, and family-friendly.
I think the vision is to have a really mixed community. Young people, old people, single people, married people, families. I think it's really having a mixed neighborhood.
Now Lonergan will review applications for Lexington's newest neighborhood. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Becky Michael.
Lonergan said 1 year from now, houses in Thompsons Knoll will be built and ready for families to move in. Devil's Backbone Brewery hosted a weekend-long beer festival to celebrate the grand opening of its Lexington facility. The 3-day festival attracted almost 2,000 visitors, co-owner Heidi Crandall said. Visitors could taste beer, tour the facility, and enjoy the bands and food trucks. She said the brewery adds another attraction to Lexington's tourism industry. Lexington now has 2 breweries, Devil's Backbone and Blue Lab. This weekend, the brewery had Blue Lab beer on tap in addition to its own beers to support the local craft brewery industry. The praise and money keep rolling in for the Virginia wine industry, but life is not easy for the people who actually make and sell the product. The state is now the 5th largest producer of wine in the United States and was recently recognized as one of the 10 best wine destinations in the world. But growers and sellers say that overbearing rules and regulations stifle the opportunity for more growth. Laws restricting the selling of wine in Virginia, expensive shipping license, and the state-run ABC liquor stores run the ire of local business entrepreneurs.
The state treats it like a Class 5 controlled substance rather than a farm product.
The laws that the ABC has to interpret need to be changed.
The Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services announced the $10 Buy Local Challenge, which encourages Virginia consumers to include locally grown products in their weekly food budgets. The department cites research that shows $1.65 billion would be added to the local economy annually if every Virginia household bought $10 worth of locally grown food and beverages per week. Spring starts in less than a week, and sports teams and organizations around town are gearing up for the new season. Coming up, we have your forecast for the rest of the week. And see how some members of the community are helping one park get a head start on its spring cleaning.
Right behind you.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified, not knowing what to do. They do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making Home Affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Thunderstorms are rolling in this weekend along with the record heat. On Friday, expect isolated thunderstorms throughout the day with a high of 77 and a low of 55. We can expect some thunderstorms on St. Patrick's Day and a high of 77 and a low of 55. On Sunday, the temperatures will drop slightly for a high of 72 and a low of 52. The mercury will once again climb to 80 degrees on Monday, with thunderstorms expected with the mercury dropping to 52. Tuesday comes with 1 or 2 thunderstorms possible and the temperatures rising to 77 and dropping to 54 at night. Baseball season is in full swing at Perry McClure High School, but some players have been practicing longer than others. Rockbridge reporter Katie Sheeler takes us inside the transition from winter to spring.
The smell of fresh-cut grass and dirt blowing through the air signals the start of baseball season. But for some players at Perry McClure, baseball had to wait because basketball season wasn't over yet.
It takes a little while. It's a mental transition that you have to go through for a couple practices, but you get the hang of it.
The team had its first games this week, with 6 of the players having only 4 practices under their belts. But they don't seem to mind.
I don't really think as much as a disadvantage because I'm used to playing it. It'll only take me a few practices just to get back into the groove of it. We're already in shape and I think we're already ready for it.
The players who are making the transition say what they're looking forward to most is being outside and not being cooped up in this gym anymore.
It starts to warm up and it just feels nice. It's a good way to relieve stress.
Head coach Jason Coleman says he's not worried about the players coming from basketball.
Some of the gloves are a little bit behind because they haven't been fielding ground balls and things, but overall as athletes, it won't take long. If we do what we're supposed to do, our average score should be Perry McClure 7, our opponent 4.
Coleman and the players say they expect the team to make its second appearance in the state tournament this spring. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Katie Sheeler.
Perry McClure won its first game against Eastern Montgomery on Tuesday. They have their first home game against Auburn this afternoon. 12 local soldiers will be deployed to Afghanistan this spring, says the Care Box project director Colette Berry. Since 2004, the Care Box project has sent over 1,536 care boxes to deployed soldiers from Rockbridge County. Like Scott Checkley pictured here, Barry Reck says she's trying to encourage more Rockbridge County residents to either donate items and money for postage or to adopt a soldier to support during their deployment. Barry Reck plans to send care boxes to the 12 recently deployed soldiers as soon as she can. From Cheetos to thick socks and powdered Gatorade mix, Barry Reck says she tries to make sure the soldiers receive practical items that serve as small luxuries overseas. The Care Box project also provides a network of support for local military families. The warm weather on Sunday brought families to Boxerwood Nature Center outside of Lexington, but instead of doing a scavenger hunt or chasing butterflies, they came to work. Rockbridge reporter Evelyn Rupert has more on Boxerwood's spring cleaning.
Volunteers spruced up Boxerwood Gardens on Sunday at the annual Spring Community Cleanup Day. Jessica Hamill and her family helped build a fence along the entrance to Boxerwood.
When you have a place like this, if you don't take care of it, it's going to disappear. And so even by coming out here and working, it gives you a sense of ownership to it.
Elementary school classes from across the county take field trips to Boxerwood every year to learn about nature hands-on. For Boxerwood gardener Faith Bosberg, it was a relief to have some help getting the land ready for the students who came to visit earlier this week.
Right now there are only 2 of us on staff to take care of the garden, and I'm only part-time. Claire and I just can't do it all by ourselves, so we really depend on community support to maintain the garden.
Even the smallest hands can be a big help.
Take that and put it in the pile. Put it in the pile behind you. Put it right behind you. Good job.
Tika and Cora Hamill have been regulars at Boxerwood since their family moved to Lexington a little more than a year ago.
We came out here and fell in love instantly. Boxerwood provides such a service to the community, so it's nice to give back to something that is provided to us and gives us so much.
Sunday's volunteers put mulch down on muddy trails, cleared brush, and pulled weeds. But to Tika and Cora, it was just another play day at Boxerwood.
They're having fun on a work day. We're doing chores and they're loving it.
There will be another volunteer work day on March 17th. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Evelyn Rupert.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. For more area news, check us out online at rockbridgereport.washingtonandlee.net. I'm Susan Haysom, and thanks for tuning in and have a good night.